We got our bolts. I have a headache because we haven't had any caffeine all day. So anyways, it's been an adventure this morning. We had to find the bus stop first off.
There was absolutely no information online on how to get there from a colectivo. Everyone just said to take a taxi, but we know that that's way more expensive.
Yeah, you can pay 25 soles for something that could cost 2 soles if you just were to take a public transportation essentially. So
Like one of the shared vans.
yeah, so we had to run around to all these bus stops. First we had to get money and breakfast on the way, and walked around town for about an hour looking for a bank, a national bank, because if you don't know already, we get no international fees, essentially because all of our ATM charges get reimbursed for us through Charles Schwab, as long as it's an international bank. And then we had to go find where the bus stop is, national bank. So then we had to go find a bus stop. The one we went to, they said, oh no, you can't get there through this one. You have to go to the other bus stop, even
like
further.
6 blocks away, after we already did a lap around the city.
Anyways, we find it. It was 5 soles per person to ride an hour away.
Definitely worth it.
Yeah, and now we're taking a moto taxi to the pyramid, and that's 5 soles as well. And it looks like we're kind of going around the back road, but here we are. We're gonna get some caffeine in us, and we'll see you when we get there.
Gracias.
Gracias. 8 soles per person, so we paid 16 soles to get in. Just for reference, here's Chiclayo. We went all the way up this road to Tucume, and we're at the museum right now.
This place is really well kept, and it kind of feels like we're in Arizona. It's very desert-like. Oh, it kind of feels familiar a little bit.
Lizards everywhere, like scrummaging around in the brush. And it's hot.
Yes.
Super hot desert.
There's barely any shade.
And little water. Like water's dried up over there in the fountain.
It's a good thing we brought 3 liters with us. We don't really know where we're going though.
I guess that's it.
Of course, but we're trying to find the museum.
Let's check it out
Here
here.
it is. I think.
This is one of the largest complexes of monumental structures of adobe. In fact, there's 500 acres and 26 large pyramids in this area. To the untrained eye, you can't even tell that there's pyramids. It's very interesting.
We just found out that these pyramids were the last pyramids built in the world. How crazy is that? This is a representation of Huaca Larga, which is the biggest palace within this whole Tucume pyramid society. And for 300 years, it was used for the elites during the Lambayeque, Chinmu, and Inca periods. And these big plazas were used for gatherings. This little area right here was used as like the kitchen and for big feasts. It's also said that the royal elite had private chefs that cooked special dishes with them, and they had like the best corned beef producers, best farm produce, fish, seafood, and various fruits, meats, and condiments. This is a representation of Huaca I, the first period pyramid, and this was used to seat the local elite, and it had a lot of ritual seeds, some of their cloth and clothing in here as well. And something that I think is really interesting about this, can't see it in this representation, but in order to reach this pyramid structure, there was actually a ramp that you had to zigzag to get up to it. You can kind of see what I mean here. They had to go like that to get up it. He's so cute, just learning over there. We are now in the museum room of the deities, and we found out that they found 190 human remains and 40 sacrificed llamas within pyramids. They gave a lot of offerings to their gods, and this whole room kind of depicts some of the things that they left. So the Tucume people really believed in 3 different gods: the serpent, feline, and a bird. And they all represented the same level of power and hierarchy, but the serpent represented the underworld, the feline represented this world, and the bird represented the heavenly world. The reason that they did sacrifices was to gain the favor of the gods, and so their sacrifices would look like taking a human or an animal, giving them a hallucinogenic seed, and then they would decapitate them, take out their heart, and then bury them. And they would also offer their blood to the sacred stone, which is where they did all the rituals. I think one of the most important things about this site is that all of the buildings were around the mountain, and the mountain is actually what they believed to protect over them and look over them. They thought it was a sacred mountain, and only the priests were able to go up to the mountain and talk to the gods, but they believed that it watched over them. So I think that's really important to note when we talk about Tucume.
And she's looking at the mountain behind us. That is the mountain.
Now that we learned about it, let's go check it out for ourselves, shall we? There it is, Cerro La Raya, the sacred mountain. Wait for me! Beautiful walkway. So the structures that you saw inside don't look anything like this, but that's because they are built of adobe and have eroded, of course. But you can see they all surround the mountain. Holy shit, a coral snake!
Where the is it? Are you serious? Fucker.
I had to do it to you one time since you're always doing it to me. Okay, I really don't know for sure, but I think that this might be the little ramp that they took that they had to zigzag. I don't really know, but that is my guess. I just got confirmation. This is Waka 1, which means that this is where they zigzagged up. You can see it's eroded right here. Went like that. Can you imagine climbing that to get inside? It's crazy. Okay, there's this ramp into this building thing. I hope that we can kind of see into this Waka 1 building. This is so cool. You can actually see some of the actual structures. Look at that. It was all smooth over there. This must be where they kept all of like the textiles and the seeds. So I guess these holes that you see were used to put wood so that they had like kind of structures on the top where it was a shelter.
We're gonna go up to the mirador on the mountain so we can look over the whole valley, check out the pyramids from above. This is so cool.
I'm like really glad that we saw Waka 1 first, because that was the one that I was the most interested in because of like the zigzag little...
People had to zigzag to get up the ramp because it was so steep.
Yeah, that was like really fascinating to me, and then they had the storage room where like the local elite would stay.
As well as they buried people in the hallways.
I did learn in the museum that energetic healers, not only energetic, but just healers in general, still come here to perform rituals and ceremonies and stuff like that. So it's still used today.
That's gonna be the sacred stone room, which we will find. Guess this is the trail.
We really are hiking in the desert. Look at this overview. There's so many of them. Dylan pointed out that this area is really abundant in trees, but it's also surrounded by the dry forest, which makes sense why it's desert-like. We still have that to go. Let's aim for the week. Don't cut midday.
It's 2:30 p.m. We need to stop sleeping in. Reapplying sunscreen.
I'm getting a little sunburned too.
This must be north, east, west to the ocean, and south.
Real test. Time to see if my knee workouts have been doing me well.
Alright, heading down. Ready to go over there.
Well, the path is blocked to the Waka Larga. I don't think we can go over there. So this might conclude our trip.
Looks like we're gonna have to go back to the museum area, get some food, and head back after this. To conclude this whole journey, this was an insightful experience. We had no idea this was here, and if you're passing through, highly recommend coming and checking this out. It's awesome.
Very fascinating. Have to admit, I'm kind of sad that we couldn't see the sacred stone. I was really looking forward to that. But I will say it's been really, really nice to get out of the city of Chiclayo. It's just so busy and loud there. This place is not packed at all. So it's a great place actually to come and just enjoy a day trip outside of the city. It's not too far away. I'm just happy that we made the trip because that city puts me in flight mode.
You wake up to music, you go to sleep to music.
Now that we have concluded our trip to Tucume, it's hot here. It's very
Yes.
desert-like, so you're gonna want to bring lots of water. We brought 3 liters amongst the both of us. You're gonna want to bring a hat. You're gonna want to bring sunglasses and sunscreen. Preferably some moisture-wicking clothing. And I would also recommend bringing some nice tennis shoes or hiking shoes because walking up to the mirador, it's very rocky and you're gonna need some tread. Make sure to bring cash too because they didn't accept card at the front, so a few people had trouble getting in.
Boom. And for the colectivos, you gotta take a motor taxi to get here, so. And the bottom, it's protecting its nest underground, just like in Florida. Food area, looks kind of nice. We're gonna get some lunch here. ¿Qué es? ¿Es cabrito?
Este es el cabrito.
¿Con pollo?
Sí.
Ok. Entonces el tipo de salsa que cocinas con?
El pollo, la gallina,
Ajá.
con su alverjita esta.
Ok, son verduras con verduras y
Sí,
papas.
con verduras y papas, sí.
Okay. There's only one thing on the menu that they actually have. This is common here. You go to ask for something, they're like, oh, actually we only have this. So we're getting cabrito, some chicken with veggies and rice and potatoes. We're eating Sam's big old mess here.
I was cutting it and it slid off.
We're so hungry we almost didn't even record it. Oh, that.